Hello, everybody. Good afternoon or good evening if you're joining us from the other parts of the world. I am Nidhi. I'm one of the founders of Paybe, and I'm very, very excited to see you all here today. We have a fantastic session planned. This session today is a part of our webinar series. Our hope is to share interesting people, bring in their knowledge, our knowledge that we see at many events. We host over 1,000 events each year, and we see a lot of things that are working really well, some things not so much, and we want to be able to impart our knowledge that we've gathered through the events. So we host these webinar series every so often, and we like to invite hosts who have very interesting backgrounds, variety of things, experiences that they bring to their events, and which is why I'm very excited to tell you about our today's guest. So our guest today is Franco Finn. He is a benefit auctioneer specialist. He has hosted amazing events for the American Red Cross, March of the Dimes, YMCA, Boys and Girls Clubs of America, YMCA, Make-A-Wish Foundation, a whole bunch of organizations. A lot of you might know him as the in-arena MC host for the Warriors. And also known as the Hype Man. He is the Hype Man everywhere. And he's worked at the Disney company as well for 15 years. His first job was at Radio Disney, ABC. I was supposed to call you, Franco. Let me call you. Hold on.
Let's call. Things happen in this pandemic. I've got my phone ready to go.
Hi, Franco.
Rotary dial, by the way. Does anyone have rotary dial at home? I don't have a cell phone yet. I'm just kidding. Nidhi, great to see you.
Welcome to a webinar. We are so happy to have you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And I got to tell you, I love Paybe because really the last 2 years, I've been living and breathing with all the updates, all the great things that Paybe has been doing to create an event at home, basically virtually online. So thank you for saving us during this pandemic. But I know in-person events, there's hybrids and everything, and you guys have been truly amazing to work with. And I'm so happy to kind of share some secrets on what it takes to have a party with a purpose and connecting the emotional way. I'm just going to start off by this. I don't know if it was the flyer that got you into the doors because I had this hat on and, a microphone. Maybe it's my hype man. If you've been at the Warriors and you've really seen me for the last 20 years as a hype man, well, I bring that auctioneer energy and just have fun if I can have that and really engage with people in a very emotional way. And really importantly, to make everyone smile. In the end, it's about the organization and helping people, saving lives, whatever the organization and the mission may be, but we connect in an emotional way. And that's where the buzz and the energy, you're creating a journey. When you walk into Disneyland, you are walking into an experience the moment you walk in, from when you greet. If you've got a circus theme or a Vegas theme, you want to dress the part, look the part, because in that first 5 seconds, we all know we make a judgment. Oh, it's going to be boring. Oh, this looks fun. I love it. The music, the environment, virtual or in person. It's about creating that party with a purpose, but connecting emotionally so that people are invested in the event.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's going to be our focus today. I think we'd love to share with the audience how you create this buzz and this energy. So maybe let's start off with the format of the event. I know we were supposed to meet in person at the Paybe offices today, and well, a little bug came along.
A little Omicron bird came along, and you know what? Things happen, right? But it's the versatility, and we've already learned the last 2 years. Like I said, Paybe saved me during the pandemic. It saved many organizations because I think what your platform has done is really created an outlet for people to have an in-person event experience in the comfort of your home. I joke around, I bring these props. I feel like Carrot Top from Las Vegas with hats, props. I've done every type of theme. I want to say our first one we did was the Oakland Zoo, where we saved the zoo in the early part of the pandemic. They had to raise $1 million to feed the animals in order to survive for another year. A $500,000 grant came in, but that wasn't enough. We had to raise $500,000, if you remember, Nidhi, online in the middle of the pandemic. We were at the zoo and we broadcasted live. We had 3,000 online on your platform We didn't know how to handle it, but it was handled perfectly. I had hats. I had animals in the back. I mean, it was a fundraiser. If you remember, folks, the Jerry Lewis telethons of back in the day, I'm aging myself, you know, where people were, operators are standing by, please donate today. And you have a fun host, a Jerry Lewis like myself, your hype man auctioneer, to get people saying, we need you today to help make the zoo survive another year. How do we do this? And we raised $500,000 to match the 500, and we raised over $1 million, 1.3 as a matter of fact, and we saved the zoo together. That's where I know that this works, and it was amazing. So thank you for that. Still one of my most memorable moments, Needy.
I agree. I agree. I think we put that event together in about 10 days.
10 days.
I think the zoo was on the verge of shutting down, and you know, we reached out that, hey, what if you host a virtual event? Virtual events were new, and they took a chance, and then they were very successful. In like 90 minutes, you know, fundraiser done. So I think what was important is to be open to switching formats, right? Which seems to be the case right now with everything going on. I think what seems to be a common theme. We keep telling our charities that, hey, continue planning for your event and host it. You know, if you ever need, just switch the format, go hybrid or go in person or go virtual, right? And it doesn't matter as long as you have the opportunity to connect with your donors, to be in front of them, to share your mission. I think that's what matters the most.
And that's what you said. I mean, we've already learned that we can do virtual. We can be stuck at home and still raise millions of dollars. But you can go hybrid. You can go in person if things are allowed. That's the beauty of it now. We're smarter 2 years later. We are very more resilient. We can handle it. But the most important thing is engage with your audience. Give them a program, something that they can wrap their heads, their hearts around, so that they say, hey, I'm at home, but I know that the zoo needs money, or this children's hospital needs money, or this organization, our seniors. There's still the human aspect of it. And we're humans. And that's why it's party with a purpose. Yes, you're gathering, whether online or in person, but there is a purpose that night. When you have a theme, you know, ride the theme out from beginning, middle, and end. Look at it as a show. You mentioned I was at the Walt Disney Company. Now, if you love Disney like I do, I know many of us do, you know, their motto is whether you're 2 or 92 years old, the magic of Disney will live on forever. Because when you walk to the parks, when you see something, from beginning to end, they're taking you on a journey. You know, even the janitors, the tech ride operators, they're called cast members. They're part of a show. They're part of magic. And what I like to do as a hype man auctioneer, and I think what sets myself apart, is I am your maestro. I am your ringleader that will get you in. Welcome. What do we have today? Wow, we have this. We're going to go on a ride together. You're going to feel highs and lows like a movie. You know, you cry in a movie. You love a movie so much because there's a love story. You know, you love what the mission is about. You also are excited for action. You know, I'm an action drama nut. If there's, you know, fast cars and sound and noise, that also stimulates you as well. There's something for everyone. And when you approach an event that way, even if it's for 45 minutes, an hour online, or in person for 2-3 hours, give them something to connect to. Have them at hello the moment they walk in. Everything matters. Little things do make an impact. And we all know that's why Disney's so successful. Brands like that make your organization memorable the moment they walk into the door. So buzz and energy right in the beginning. And you know, there's a time and purpose, right? I can slow things down. You know, I've done things for suicide prevention, homelessness. You know, I'm not going to ride the energy up like that on something like that. Fund a needs where you're giving 100% of your money to a cause. You have to kind of set the mood a little bit, you know, tell a story, videos, whatever it may be. It all comes together, but you get them on a ride, and at the end, you want them wanting more, right? We go to Disneyland. Don't we want more? When are we coming back again? That's how you create an emotional connection with your event and your audience.
So you've always talked about, like, you know, think of an event as a symphony. What do you mean by that, Franco?
A symphony. So if you've been to the symphony, there's the crescendos, there's like, you know, it kind of warms you up, and then it's like dun, 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 you know, it's whatever. If you watch the ballet, the Nutcracker, there's always like a climactic portion, and then it takes you back down. A symphony also is kind of, I like to see it's like organized chaos, if you will, right? There's different moods, there's different things, elements that come in, but it's all part of this masterpiece of an event. And so I approach it as a symphony. I even equate it to, if you like to fly, I like to travel quite a bit. And look, I have another prop there too. If you like traveling, here's, even I look at landing a plane, taking off, that's a symphony too, because you have people that are directing the planes, you have the pilots who are driving it, you have the landing, you have the safety team. They all are in this kind of one show, and they all have a role. And in the end, it's to get people in and out safely and to get them to their favorite destination. And I even think at an airport, like I said, it's like a symphony. You really take them on a journey, and there's highs, the crescendos, it goes down, and you're a part of it. And I like to say I'm the maestro. I am the maestro, kind of, hey, this is what we have. This is how it's important. Here, we're going to go here. And we connect it together. Time flies, and there's a purpose.
So how do you, I guess everybody who comes to you, at least your virtual event, also in person, are strangers to you. So how are you so effective in building that connection and that bond with them?
Well, strangers are, the one thing that bonds with us, right? And this is what I think everyone should approach every event and really look at it with the lens, is there's always going to be a sense of humility. There is something that humbles us as human beings. And that's just the nature of who we are. We're emotional animals, right? And it's basically, a stranger can be your new friend by the end of the day. But you know what? One thing that's great about it is you are rallying for the same cause. The moment you walked into the door or you logged online, like today, you're expected to be a part of something, right? You're joining. I've signed up. Let's commit. There's millions of people. There's strangers on the other side of the screen right now that I've never, ever met. Some I know, some I don't know. That's the beauty about connecting with strangers. Sports. I like to let's talk about sports. Everyone knows if you've been to the arena 20 years, I've been the hype man, 20,000 people, highs, lows, wins, losses. But you know what? We're all strangers. We may not know each other, but we're rooting for one thing, and that is our Golden State Warriors. And when the fans are up, they're up. When they're down together. But they're all strangers. And that's the beauty of sports and events and fundraisers, friend raisers, is you become friends because there is a common purpose. And you just have to find that string wherever you may go. I understand there's deadlines. You got to do this, do that. But look at the emotional, the humility part. And that separates you from being a stranger in the beginning. And then you become a friend at the end. And I think, if we approach an event like that and your strangers who happen to come in one room, one gathering, can really become friends or people at least that care about the same thing. And together you ride that. And that's where that whole strength in numbers, I love to say that's the Warriors mantra. It doesn't matter. We're in a room full of strangers, but together collectively is one big voice that can make a difference, save lives, do this, do that. Sports is the same thing. When I'm up there and it's like, get up on your feet, make some noise. It doesn't matter who you are. You look at your neighbor, they're doing it, I'm doing it. I'm going to make noise. This is my team. Let's win. And that's the beauty of events. And that's what I love to do these, no matter where I am.
And I know eye contact and making eye contact is a big part of, your trade secret, I guess. So tell us about
it. You hit it on the nails, the trade secret. So I am looking at, hopefully, they say, I joke around because when you're looking in the camera, they say, make love to the camera or be intimate with the camera. That camera is really the eyes to the world, especially if you're online. Being on camera at the Warriors, when I'm live on the screen, on the jumbo screen, I have a lot of people around me, but I'm not looking at 20,000 people directly. I'm looking at a camera who's looking at everyone else. So if you have that eye contact just like this, and there's a big difference. We all have our monitors. I have actually special equipment. I take this to another level. I have a thing called center cam that actually drops down in the middle, and I'm looking at your face as I'm talking to you because people want to have a handshake, right? Eye contact. You become a friend or at least an acquaintance when I look at you and say, hi, I'm the hype man auctioneer, Franco Finn. I shake your hand firmly and I look right into your eyes that we're going to make a deal. We're going to do something together. And that is a good point, Needy, that you say the eye contact, little things make a huge difference versus All right, everybody, we're going to do an event right now, and it's going to be raising millions of dollars. You see where my eyes are? I'm not focused into you and into your soul, into your hearts. I have to be in like this, not, all right, everybody, we're going to talk about fundraising 101, connecting in an emotional way. Am I connecting with you in an emotional way? No. Am I connecting with you in an emotional way? I hope you can invite me for dinner. I'm hungry or whatever it may be. That's what I want to be. I want to be a guest in your house that night.
No, I think it makes a big difference. I guess you have your special camera. I'm just using my iPad camera. And when I look straight at the screen, I know the camera is a little above. So I'm sure, our audience can see the difference in the eye contact I'm making. I'm not reaching in their soul like you are, but it makes a big difference. And I totally get that. I should invest in one of those.
Yeah, it's called Center Cam. This came out during the pandemic. It's a little thing. There's some people are even using real cameras now that are so high definition, and they're looking into a very professional lens. It plugs into their computer. And I've been on interviews, on panels, and wow, it makes a world of a difference. You are what you come out to be, right? Like you have a perception. You have to have a high quality. I can't be an auctioneer and be on camera and have, a crappy camera or no resolution and focus, or, it's not good equipment. Like I have the highest internet. I plug in when I can. I have upgraded everything because this is my livelihood. I'm responsible for millions of dollars for many charities every day. And I take that, to heart. And, you have to approach every event with, not just like, I'm going to turn on a computer, let's connect. No, you have to engage. And it's even harder when you're at home, right? It's super hard. So there's a lot to be, to learn from just even having little camera adjustments. But that connects. I've already kind of broken the ice, if you will.
No, totally. I just want to tell our audience this is a live event. So, all of you are welcome to ask questions in chat, and, we'll be taking them. We've also reserved the last few minutes to open it up to questions. But as you listen to our content, and if there's questions that you have, feel free to post them, and we'll keep looking at them as well.
Yes, I'd love to answer more questions. I know there's a lot of burning stuff out there, lots of charities out there doing or thinking about doing an event. Fire away. Please fire away. That's what we're here for.
So coming back to, digging into your secrets. So tell us, how do you plan for dead air? Because I know that, I can only speak for so long if I had to go continuously, but, you seem to, create this whole show and you make sure there is no dead air. So how do you do that?
How do we create an event, or like how,
Or just like basically not having any dead space or dead air, right?
Yes.
When you're performing.
Yes. And as I mentioned before, like you have to treat it like a symphony or a show or a movie. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And when you're performing, or when you're speaking in public, or when you're presenting something, you don't want dead air in space. That kills momentum. That kills the energy of a room. There's moments where you have to dumb it down, light it low, do that, and then there's nothing to be said. That's a transition. That's fine. But then when you're up there and you have to sell and you have to engage and tell people why you have to give your hard-earned money tonight for this fundraiser, like there's times I'm so out of breath. I mean, when I'm live on stage, I am sweating profusely, even in my own home, in my chair. I am sweating because I put everything out, because I want them to be very connected with me, feel the passion that I feel for the organization. What I like to do is I like to find a story that I can relate to with an organization, whether, I take care of my mother who's in a wheelchair. She's 75 years old, stroke survivor, breast cancer survivor. If I do something for the elderly or whatever, I think about my mother and I go up on stage, and there's moments where I've actually teared up and really connected. And I said, wow, gosh, if I can make myself cry on stage in front of all these people, and it's very real, then I know I've hit something home. And I really try to find something like, what is everyone here? Why are you here tonight? It's because of the seniors or the kids or homelessness. Like they're passionate about something because they dressed up, spent their money to be here tonight. So I'm going to find a way to connect. And when I do and I present, I don't like having dead air. So I come from a broadcasting experience. You said Radio Disney. I did ABC radio, did TV. That's what's helped me and given me the edge as a presenter, because I hate dead air. When there's a lull, or it just doesn't sound right. You have to just fill it with something. Why do you think when auctioneers are talking, you know what the chant is? Those are filler words. How many dollars on it? Five, would have been five, would have been five, not 10, would have been 10, not 15, not 15, now sold. But like, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm harmonized. Like it's called a chant. You're actually singing, and you're practicing your vocal cords. When I learned in auction school, shout out to Mendenhall School of Auctioneering, by the way, in North Carolina. Yes, there's an auction school. I am not just a personality that turned on a mic. No, I went to auction school, and I'm a benefit auction specialist because I want to learn the art of fundraising. So the chant is an important part. I put a little bit of, little chant, little twang, if you will, but it keeps things moving along. They're called fillers. So when you're selling an item, people don't think, they're like, why are they just fast talkers? It's not just fast talking. You're moving it along with a sense of urgency, and you're doing it some auctioneers are more sing-songy than others, but they're putting filler words. How many dollars, baby, what a bit, like, what is that? Are they stutterers? Well, yes, it is a technique to kind of say, oh, 2,000, not 20. I mean, they're just filling numbers in between so that you can get to the next bid. People don't realize that. It's not just fast talking as an auctioneer. I bring energy and fun, a little bit of twang. I learned from some Southern auctioneers, but I'm filling words. 5 would have been 5, not 10. Would have been 10, not 15, not 15. Oh, in the back. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, here on the side. How about you in the corner? 35 ton. Well, it's just, you're keeping it moving, whether you're on stage or online.
No, definitely. And talking about this, I mean, I have seen you perform, and I have seen you fill it up with jokes. I've seen you, fill it with emotional, serious moments. And I think, you're very mindful, I think, about, what content you're presenting, and your emotion goes with it. Tell us a little more about.
Yeah. And this is fun. I love what I do because I'm a personality. It's funny because I got into the auction business 20 years ago. I've been a host, MC, and hype man for 20 plus years. But they said, God, your energy is so good. I'm so captivated. I'm moved by you. You ever thought about being an auctioneer? And I actually subbed for an auctioneer one time that didn't show up. And I raised more money than he ever did over the years. Or I would come in and sell a Warriors package or a fun travel package, and people were just like, I'm spending money. I want it. And they said, you should try this as a career. And so I did. I'm always having fun and telling jokes. I'm who I am on camera or in person. So adding jokes, like I have a brand. We all have a brand when you're out there. Every comic, every host, entertainer has a brand. If you can infuse that while doing your craft, which is the auctioneer craft, I'm professionally trained. That combination has been the recipe, honestly, to my success. And I have many clients out there that are like, well, can Franco do something about suicide prevention or homelessness? In the end, are we humans? Yes. Do you want a 1-hour program that's going to beat you down to death? How, there's death and this and that? Most likely not. You're going to have to pep it up just a little bit, especially when you're selling a live auction item. When I'm selling a trip that is like an amazing experience or a foodie thing or something like that, I love to put jokes and say, don't let it slip away. He's going to have the dinner. He's going to take the bone right out of your mouth. And they're like, oh my God. Or I'll sit on someone's lap when it was pre-pandemic, of course, and just have fun and say, honey, do you want to lose this amazing experience to that guy next to you? And then I don't think so. We would just have a lot of fun like that. But our purpose is to raise money. And we're hyping up amazing packages for an organization, no matter what it is. So there's a time and place for jokes. You fill it in. You just have to read an audience. And so when you're the maestro like myself, and I bring this energy to an event, I'm the quarterback. I look at an event from its entirety, not just the audience, not from the stage, not only from the organizers, but I put it all together to say, what is going to make a great show today or tonight? And then you just infuse when you can, and you have to think on your feet. This industry, events, nothing goes according to plan. We know that, but you need to be thinking on your toes. If something's weird or nothing's selling, move on to the next. You got to have that capacity to understand, ooh, this is not going well right now. Let me flip the script just now and let me distract them with this. You know, you got to keep them guessing. And I think that's been the formula to my success and our success. And a platform like Paybe is perfect because you know why? You don't have the time when you're online, especially because there's a lot of platforms out there that it's too clunky. I don't have the time to go to another browser to donate, to click give, to text, to get on my phone. No, you're watching like on Paybe, which is what I love. You're watching me, you're clicking, you're bidding, you're engaged, done. You're out of there. You're wasting their time if you say, go to I'm not going to say anything. Go to this, that, you know, people don't have time for that. Get them while you can, make it super simple and easy. They engage, they click, they watch, they give. Just that simple. And that's why I appreciate Paybe for what you've done the last couple of years to evolve in this space.
Thank you, Franco, for saying that. Again, well, we love building good technology, and you know, we hope all of you are successful. We're big fans of all the work all of you do, but thank you. And this is more about you and you know our audience. But
I mean that. I really mean that because it makes my job easier when I don't have to tell an audience, please go to this browser, please go to like it should be super simple. If I'm going to give money, just watch. If you feel connected, click that button. Thank you very much. A receipt will be printed at the end of the night. That's it. It's seamless. And a seamless experience is what you want to give your audience. When you're having dinner, right? And then there's such a big lull with like, when the hell are we going to start this auction? That is the worst thing an organizer can do. Time it when the food has just been placed, everyone's full, they can't walk and go anywhere. Cut the bar and let's focus on the program. Don't wait till 9 o'clock to start your live auction or your fund and eat. Half the audience has already walked out of the door, and they might, you know, it's you got to really find that timing, and you have to give them a time that really maximizes their fundraising. You got to maximize opportunities.
That's great. You start talking about event format, which is where I wanted to kind of take you to, and which is great, right? You talked about, think of the big picture, the purpose of each component, right?
Yes.
So talk a little more about that. You keep saying it should all be planned and intentional. How should a charity think about the format of their event?
Well, first off, you know, a charity, an organization needs to have at least a vision, have a game plan, you know, and sometimes I get brought in as an auctioneer and I'm in meetings and meetings just to have more meetings. That's not effective of anyone's time. People are volunteers, they're on boards. Have your meetings have a purpose and say, okay, today we're going to finalize a timeline. Tomorrow's meeting, we're going to finalize the live. You know, have certain things and milestones in your event planning process so that everyone, you're mindful of their time and you have preparation. You're prepared. You know, you hear the thing is it's 99% preparation, 1% perspiration, because it's all in the prep work. Charities need to have a timeline and vision in order. You don't have to have it finalized from day one, but at least start with a structure. Go to webinars. I went to Paybe webinars and other ones and compared, looked at stuff and said, oh, I like that, or I don't like that. Do your homework, do your research. You know, things change. We all know that. Event planning is never concrete. Also, minimize too many cooks in the kitchen. Let's be real. We've been to events. You got too many committee members. Narrow it down. Narrow it down to decision makers. Because when you're voting on, what do you think this and that? I've been on meetings and I'm like, wow, this is not a use of my time and anyone's time because you're still voting in there. Have a result presented when you're meeting with your auctioneer. Part of my job is to consult you. I want to maximize and elevate your fundraising goals for the night. I'm not here to talk about, well, is it blue or is it green? Is it green or is it blue? Let's take a vote and be in that meeting. That's not a good use of time. Also, a message. There needs to be a message. There needs to be a common string that you're doing an event for a reason, right? I mean, look, when we do a birthday party, it's about a birthday party. It's about that person and their birthday. You have something to start with, and then you evolve from there. What is that message? What is the purpose of tonight's event, online or virtual? Reflect on your purpose, all right? What are we going to do together? What are we going to tell people out there in the outside world about our organization, why their money is important to support us. Amplify it. What an event really does, what we're doing here, is you're just amplifying something that you've already planned out and thought of. And be confident with it. Stick to it. And try not to be so wishy-washy. Don't get too many cooks involved. Let me go here. Like, take charge, take the lead. You know, you're working with a professional, so you know a professional, you know, they don't have a lot of time sometimes. You don't have a lot of time. So we're all working professionals. But think through your event. Think through what you need to do. What is the mission? Start with that. Like, break it down. You can compartmentalize, because if you look at the overall picture, like, oh my gosh, we have to do a gala. We have 300 people. It's going to cost, like, that's chaos. And you can really get lost in event planning if you don't compartmentalize. Like today, let's secure. Is it hybrid, or is it in person, or is it virtual? Check. Great. How many people do we want to do? What platform are we going to use? Today's meeting. Check. You know, have those in place and get ready. And just, you know, we don't have a lot of time. You know, you have to, yes, work with a sense of urgency, but be more strategic, you know, with that approach when you plan your event.
So for charities to have effective meetings with you, right, and get,
Yes.
I guess, the most benefit out of working with you, I guess they need to give you their vision, their mission, and
Yes.
then I guess goals of what they're trying to achieve from the event. And then you can take care of the rest. Is that how it works?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I can make do with whatever it is, you know, I mean, look, you know, just come to the meeting. Like when you say, okay, I'm going to loop in our auctioneer or our event production team. And this is kind of what we thought. Let's get the, you know, like the Play-Doh. You know, sometimes you don't know what you're going to create with the Play-Doh or the clay. You have something in mind and you bring it to the table. But in the end, you're going to start shaping it, right? And we're going to keep shaping it every meeting. But have it ready to go, so at least you have some kind of direction, because the direction is really important when you are planning with professionals like myself or event consultants. Just having it ready, being on top of it. I say, like, you know, treat it like a job, like anything else. And I know a lot of volunteers, and there's, you know, this is their volunteer time. But if you treat it like a job, if I have a deadline at work, you better believe I'm going to have all my things in place, because my VP is going to look at every single detail and say, Franco, there's nothing here. You want me to, what am I going to do with this? I don't want my VP, my boss, to tell me that. I want to have it outlined so that there is no room for error. And we are at least headed on a direction somewhere, a starting point, and then we can finish out the rest as we, you know, plan along. Hopefully that answers your question.
No, it does. And we see similar things on the technology standpoint as well, right?
Right.
So when charities are setting up an event on our platform, at least, again, one of our strong beliefs is that we need to match the vision of the event, right? Technology should cater to their needs, as opposed to telling the charity, no, you need to do your check-in this way just because that's the only way technology can do it, right? No, we always think of Paybe needs to adapt. It needs to enhance their event as opposed to dictating what they're doing at their event.
And this is what I like to say too, Nidhi, is that honestly, like, we all have a job, okay? And that's where you have to just, you know, like if you have an event committee, there's a procurement team, like they need to do their job to procure items. If you have, you know, an event logistics team that does the, you know, the tables, the chair, like they have a certain job. Technology, your job is to make sure this platform runs and you're able to input, like that is your main focus. You know, we all have our main job. As an auctioneer, my job is to sell. I am the front man, and I'm going to get people to the door. I'm going to get people in the water. I'm going to get people to dive right in, to give their money. And oftentimes, you know, we get bogged down with other little details that are just not worth it. We have to stick to our lane. And, you know, here's the other thing that's very important. Organizations need to really focus on their donor base. I can only bring so much money as an auctioneer, and I can get you spending a little bit more. But if I don't have the right people in the door at our virtual event or live in person, I can't work with that. Nobody can, right? And so I always tell clients, work on your outreach. During the pandemic, what are we at? We're at home. Let's go old school. Mr. Smith, hey, we have a virtual gala. Could you support for $5,000 somewhere, somehow. Can I count you in for 5? In person, virtual, it doesn't matter, but are you in? We need your support. It's a very challenging time. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Next, Needy. I need your help. This is a great event. You've supported in the past. Like, this is what it needs to be, because together they're on board, they're online, they're in person. I'll get them to spend extra money. Don't you worry. We'll have some fun, but you got to get them to the door. And that's the perfect combination, because a lot of charities are like, oh, well, the auctioneer is just going to get as much money as we can. We've made this much. But, no, get the right people. It's about relationships, the outreach. The technical side for you guys, you focus on getting a great product so it's easy, simple, and your money goes in and boom, done, right? That's your job. My job is to get extra money that event. The organization's job is to make sure that they have the right people in place at the right time. And so outreach is super important. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing that I kind of like to preach and tell people about. That someone's probably calling. They're probably asking me for money right now. Someone's asking Franco Finn, hey, you supported the Red Cross. You've supported the YMCA. Can you give $5,000?
They're trying out the skills that they're just learning. Yeah.
Correct. I'm booking you right now. Let's go.
No, I think that's great, right? And even we tell our charities, right? Bringing your donors to the event is the hardest part. Focus on that, and everything else, you have a pretty capable team who can address it, right? Yes. So just to add to our previous comment, right? So again, even working with us, it is very, very effective if they come in with a plan. So saying things like, okay, these are the kind of tickets we want to sell, or we're going to sell tables, we're going to have these sponsorship levels, and then execution can go really, really fast, right? Once you have a plan. So I see a lot of value in doing that homework, and when they come to, I guess, all of us and help them execute components of their event.
Absolutely.
So yeah. Okay.
We're all on a team. Like we all have our moving parts. Like when you're on a football team or a basketball team, everyone has a role. You have a point guard, you have a forward, you have a shooting guard, you have a 3-point specialist, you have a defender. Like everyone has to click together for one common purpose. And that's what makes life a little bit easier when we're event planning, to keep that in mind when we're doing an event. And it's not that hard. You just focus. Everyone has a role, assign, delegate. But by the next meeting, have it figured out, not just have a meeting for another meeting. And we see that too many times. And I know a lot of people have maybe minimal personnel and they're doing it all at once. And that's fine. Ask for help when you need some help. And whatnot. Nothing is perfect. It's not easy to do this, but you can make it easier on yourself if you do the pre-planning. You do kind of, and in the end, it's all about the money, right? And that's where, you can do all this fancy, this, that, whatever. But in the end, did you raise the money that you were supposed to help save lives, or to help do this, or to help do that? The answer is, well, it's really the outreach. And we can only do so much live and in the event. We can only control so much. But it's the right people at the right event that can really make a formula for success.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you, Franco, I know you've acquired a lot of skills over time, but how much of this is natural talent versus acquired learned skills?
No, that is a very, very, very good question. Yes, part of it is a talent, of course. But believe it or not, I was even a shy kid at one point, right? And I came out of my shell when I worked at Radio Disney, started taking the microphone. The Warriors hired me after a concert I did in front of 20,000 fans. That was luck and talent together, right place, right time. But you can learn these things. You know what I mean? You just have to have the right team members. Like, Needy, I'm not going to try to do any of the technical things of Paybe that's so successful. You built this program. You know this inside and out. That is your expertise. So I'm going to lean on you for that. I'm not going to ask you to do my role, and vice versa. Yes, you have talents and you have things like that, but you can also learn things as well. You can learn from others, which I do quite a bit. I watch other auctioneers. I watch other events. I'm a student of the game, if you will. To be honest, like, I talk about sports, the football teams, you know what happens, or even basketball or any team, what happens after a game? They watch film. They watch themselves perform. They watch others perform. They watch everything before the next game. I, believe it or not, watch. And some people say, oh, I don't want to hear myself, see myself. Believe you me, there's moments I'm like, ooh, 20 years ago, wow, Franco, young Franco, 20-something, is not the 45-year-old Franco today. It takes time to perfect a craft. Can anyone learn a craft? Absolutely. How much do you want to apply to your craft? How important is it to you? Like, I love the technical stuff, don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to be developing programs and doing what you're doing, Needy, and coming up with the next new thing to make, event planning easy. No, I'm going to stick to what I'm good at, and that is entertaining audiences, captivating them with money, with a purpose, and all that. And I still need to learn how to improve. Like, I'm never satisfied with my performance from last week. I want to improve next week and next week and next week, like a team. And I equate sports a lot because a lot of people, professional athletes especially, have a mindset of that's not good enough. I don't care if I caught 100 touchdowns last week. How do I collect 101 touchdowns? That's the challenge. And that's the competitor in me. And I think the competitor in many people. Like, we got to set the bar just a little bit higher every time and expect a little bit more. But it is a talent, and it's also luck, but it's also craft that if you're willing to practice like Steph Curry 100 million times hitting 3 points, even though he's undersized and he's the greatest shooter on the planet. Can anyone do it? Sure. But you have to want to put in the work to do it. And that's why everyone has a job. And hopefully you take your job very serious, because I take raising money very serious. Because if I don't raise 150,000 for this kid or this charity or this community center, then there's no community center. People will suffer from it. And I take that very, very serious, that I want to make sure that I improve next week or next year. We're going to raise more money, right? And so you just have to have a professional outlook and approach.
No, I love that. You're definitely prepared at every event, and you've done your homework, and that shows.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, we're welcome. We are open to taking questions. If you all have any specific questions for Franco or for me, happy to help. We do have one question that came in. Oh, this was about the center cam.
Yes.
You have a recommendation, Franco.
Yes. Okay. So thank you. And this is funny because a friend of mine said, hey, you do so many of these virtual events. Look at this Kickstarter. It was a Kickstarter. Center cam wasn't even
on Amazon.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it is now, but I think it is now in production. But it's called Center Cam, and what I love about it is it plugs in your computer and it clips on the top of your computer where your normal camera is, and then it drops down. I wish you could see it. It drops down literally in the middle of my screen. So all my stuff, my scripts, my notes, they're in the middle of my screen. So my camera is placed in the middle, and it's center cam. It's hung over the middle. And center cam, so it says 45 to 90. So the question is, which one? Well, first off, I like to go with it. It's great because it's HD. You can tell with the blurry versus not blurry. Like, go with the highest resolution, right? HD. If you got 4K, that might be a little overkill these days, but hey, if you got 4K, do it. But do the highest you can, right? And the one I like, because there's one where you're a little bit closer or a little bit further. I like this because I can be in your living room and I can talk to you like we're one-on-one, and I can lean in, lean forward, lean back. This one has this camera where it's a little bit more tighter of a shot, because there's ones where you're, right from the top. I don't like that. I'm an auctioneer. I need to be right in your living room. I want to be right next to you, Needy. Like, I'm pretending I'm in your living room right now, and I'm looking at you. And what I love about it is it's small and compact. So it's really nice. But take a look at it. I'm sure there's other competitors, but Center Cam, I invested in it before it came out to the public because I knew this was going to be a game changer, and I think it is. We have a good question.
We have another question. So, from Rebecca. So, as a new nonprofit, how do you balance educating your audience about who you are and asking them for donations?
That's a great question, Rebecca. And there's many new organizations out there, and there's also other existing organizations that need to retell their story or their mission or their next chapter in evolving, right? And honestly, there's a lot. Social media and video content. When you do an event, let's say you do a virtual or you do a gala for the first time, you need to have your audience understand what your mission is. I think a mission statement, your mission goals are really your Bible. It's who your organization is. We are serving our underserved, higher education and career, like it's a statement, right? How do we get that mission statement and that purpose and goal to new donors, new audiences? Well, you got to create, it's all about content and videos these days. I hate to say it. I have a video production company, so we do storytelling. And so I'm not just an auctioneer for hire, but I actually do videos that tell stories about the food bank or this charity or this community center. Because when you're at an event and you sit them down and it's quiet, there's no food, there's no clanking around, it's dark, everyone's focused on the screen. Tell me, what is the food bank about? What is our goal today? So we create these 2 to 3 minute videos that share the story of this is who we are and this is why we need your help so we can help these people. And that's all about that. You have to educate them. A lot of times it's networking, it's doing these mixers ahead of your event. Some events have like, hey, come to our rooftop, come to our center for a little mix and mingle to learn about what we're doing next. It's really about outreach. That's the success, I think, of any organization is, do you have people that are motivated and passionate to do outreach? I think of it as this. When I was in high school, you know what I was passionate about? I was passionate about skiing. I loved skiing. I wanted everyone to join the ski club. Well, you know what? I would go around school. I was a student council, student body president. Ski week, winter's coming up. Who's going to come from high school? I would have ski goggles, ski pants, ski poles, and I would tell everybody, you ever heard of the ski club? No? Do you like snow? You ever want to go to Tahoe? Well, next week, we're going to take as many kids to go skiing. You want to go skiing with me? Let's go. And I was so passionate about it that I would do these little things about the ski club. And I discovered a new sport because I never learned how to ski when I was little. I learned it in high school. And I used to be, in the ski club. And I'm like, you don't know about the ski club? Come on over. I got a little mixer here. We're going to tell you about our trip in a couple of months. And so you invite them. That's how you do it. You invite them for dinner. You kind of warm them up a little bit. So yes, that's how you get your audience prepped up. It's all about education. It's all about promoting them. Social media now, we have all the channels. By the way, what I like to do for organizations, when I'm on board, I do promos. I'll do like 30 or 60 seconds. I'll say, hey, it's your hype man auctioneer Franco Finn with your Golden State Warriors. Tune in on Tuesday, January 25th. The YMCA is going to be doing a wine tasting. Why not? And I'll have a little wine in my glass. I'll see you on the 25th at 1 p.m. for some light bites, some wines, and ways to support the YMCA. Learn more. We'll see you there. Use your promo pieces. Do stuff like that to make them fun. And then people will say, yeah, I'll give, but you got to warm them up. They're not just going to give out of their pocket right away. Give them a purpose. Give them something to look at, engage with, see on social media. Put your ski goggles on and invite them to the ski club. That's the way I look at it. We have another question.
No, that's definitely very effective, right? I would also like to tell chat again, if they hire a professional, a lot of it is taken care of, but there are charities who don't have the budget. Correct. In that case, I would say definitely make the ask, because very often we've seen charities just not even ask, right? I mean, they have a big party. They're like, right, okay, people will come, and if they'd like to donate, they would. But we keep telling our charities, make the ask. Still, giving or not giving is up to them. But if you don't ask, you might not even get.
Exactly.
Right? So they're there to support you. They've given you their time. Make
yes.
the ask.
And this is what separates a successful organization that is doing whatever they can, that asks every corner, every crevice, no stone unturned. That is what makes them raise a lot of money. Yes, the auctioneer is going to help raise that, but you have to give me something to work with. And I will get them there. If you get the right people there and they have wealth and they have money, I've seen them spend way more money than they should because I just connected with them. They connected to the purpose and goals. Hopefully, I'm not responsible for any divorces out there. I'm going to put it out there. I've seen couples fight. You spent how much? And they look at me and moving on to the next one. All right. Just kidding.
Awkward.
Oh my gosh. And I joke around about that too because I'm like, did I just spend I had my best friend spend $15,000 on a Lady Gaga Vegas experience because I knew him. He was in the front row, which was a bad idea. You're my good friend. Your wife was there, your coworkers. Of course I'm going to egg you on. You're going to lose this item? Come on, Jay. 15,000. You can afford it. I know him very well. So he said, oh my God, you just made me spend 15,000, Frank. I'm going to kill you. But it is about outreach, and it really is about it's the old school way. We're humans. Like, if you don't ask, how do I know about it? Why might I connect about it? Like, let me know. Like, you're helping kids, or you're helping so and so. Like, it's a tough time. I know you do well. I know you like, maybe you have your own family and kids. This is something that you maybe want to support, and you just got to find that common connection with your audience, or new audience members, or new board members, right? They're passionate. Find that passion, turn that into dollars, and let's create an event out of it. Let's celebrate together.
And I think it also starts a relationship, right? So even if you have a new donor or new donor base, and you start making the ask, even if they donate $10, $20, they've started building that relationship. So tomorrow,
Correct.
when they think of donating more, and you've been doing this outreach, you've been staying in touch with them, who are they going to think of giving to, right? It should be you. So,
yeah. And it starts with like even $20. Maybe they give 20 this year, but you know what? They gave, and maybe next year they give $40.
Yeah.
And maybe they got a new job and they became an executive overnight. Now that could be 4,000. I mean, you just got to get them early and just have them connect. In the end, yes, you're asking for donation, but let them connect with what you're doing, even if it's in the beginning. Every dollar counts. It doesn't matter. By the way, thank you, Diana, for your shout out. I'm glad you love my energy. Diana, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So shout out to you, Diana. I think we have another question too.
We do, about acquiring high quality auction prizes. What's the best way to secure those?
Great question, Richard. High auction. I mean, look, it's procurement is tough. I understand. Not everybody has the resources, but there are ways you can be very creative and find ways that you don't have to spend a lot of money to make money. Experiences are what people really, I think, honestly love. During the pandemic, you have a personal barbecue, come to your backyard, private party, bring the barbecue to your thing. Like, it doesn't cost much to do a barbecue, but my God, we're doing it in your home for 20 people, themed out. It's got a movie screen for a movie night right after. Like, create an experience. I remember one auction lot was like, somebody had nice equipment, like kind of computer studio equipment, and they were donating it to an organization. We're going to revamp your home office so that it is a virtual studio, basically, right? Because everyone has a computer at their desk, this and that. But no, we're going to get you cameras. We're going to get you the right equipment, lighting. We're going to turn your home office into a green screen or a thing like that. Like, that was a makeover. That was kind of cool, and it doesn't take much to create stuff. Experiences, like I said, are very valuable. There's always something cool. Like, what I like to do, I throw it out there when there's like a Warriors package or something like that. I tell people, hey, let me add a little Warriors hype man experience. I'm your auctioneer, so I'm going to go in there. I'll make it a little special when they enter for pregame. Have you watched courtside Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, 3 feet right before I host my pregame show? Like, you have to have access to that, but it's knowing the right people, obviously. But I add something like that if I can do it, and I do that to raise extra money, something like that, and that doesn't cost much, right? Or you can do a lot of things. I mean, I know elementary schools do things like parking for a year or front row graduation. That's classic. It doesn't cost much. Or naming rights to this for a year. Like, you can have fun with it and create sponsorable, things to get money. Parking is always a principal for a day.
For a day.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I love those experiences. There was one. It's like Navy SEAL for a day. Oh my gosh, really? Like, or be a firefighter for a day. Like, stuff like that doesn't have to cost money. It's just knowing the right people and asking your board. Ask your board, like, hey, you got something, Can you make a little cool thing? Maybe they have a cafeteria, like you work at Facebook. Come and check out Facebook and blah, 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 and then have like lunch there. You know, I don't think that costs anything. I used to do tours at Radio Disney. And I had friends at Pixar Studios, you know, before, and we would do like just a tour of Pixar, you know, little things like that. But of course, you want some great experiences too. It just depends. But anyways, yeah. And
Yeah,
doing it
again,
early.
we tell charities, right? Pick something that's fun for your audience. So zoo, for example, they have lunch with the giraffes, right? With the baby giraffe. And I know that was a big package
Oh,
for them, right? And that
great
did really,
example.
really good. Having lunch with mentors, right? With Donovan.
Yes, I love that. I'm gonna put the heart for that. You know what? That the baby giraffe and the baby, I think it was a monkey or what was it, an orangutan or something? Oh my
Yes,
God,
orangutan.
adorable thing in the zoo. I mean, it doesn't cost the zoo anything, but you are
Yes.
getting to feed the animals. You got to go behind the scenes. I love that. That's a big heart for me because you can't buy that anywhere. You cannot.
And they have stories to tell, right? I mean, once your guests attend that event, they have pictures, they have stories to tell. And again, it just becomes a part of their memories, which is extra special, right?
Yeah.
We made it happen. Awesome. We have about 3 more minutes. So maybe we'll take a couple, maybe 1 or 2 more questions.
Yeah.
So there's one from Deb. Oh, well, people want to hire you. We'll be putting up Franco's information as well. And, you know, he is awesome. Reach out to him. Debbie has a question. What are your thoughts about pre-shows?
Pre-shows for virtual or pre-shows for events?
Maybe let's address both, right? Pre-shows for virtual, for hybrid. Again, it could be, you know, for specific audiences.
Honestly, I've seen a lot more of it. When we were doing virtual and online, pre-shows are fine, but don't make them super long. Just keep in mind, short, sweet, to the point. Fewer, bigger, better. Okay. Oh, she says hybrid. Okay, so hybrid. Pre-shows hybrid. Yes, if people are tuning in online, give them a little something like an exclusive thing, and maybe like a pre-recorded like music video, or like if you have a special talent or somebody or orchestra or maybe the kids performing, do like just 10, 15 minutes. Don't do like 30, 40. People don't have time to log in for 45 minutes on an online and pre-party. It just doesn't happen. We just don't have the time for it. Give them like 5 minutes to 10 minutes. Pre-show access, come on in, have some music in the lobby, or have a band, or have a looping music video with sponsors. Like be creative with it. Like the more you put in, I tell people, the more you're going to get out. If you just slap on a couple of slides and this is my PowerPoint, give me money. Is that exciting? No. But if you put in like a nice sizzle video, a pre-band, like, you know, I've done it where I had a celebrity like performer. They have a little, just an exclusive little pre-warm-up acoustic session, 10 to 15 minutes prior, just short for a hybrid, right? Or for online. And then, you know, they see their full performance at the end of the program. That's awesome because you tied in the performer in the beginning and then at the end. In person, like pre-shows, it can be very distracting if you're not ready to rock and roll right after. It's good to get people in early to get in the mood. I like the chat feature on Paybe, to be honest, during our pre-shows, as you know, Aniti, when there's like, you know, 5-10 minutes before and there's music, people are coming in and saying, "Oh, good to see you, Franco. Needy, high five. Where are you?" I mean, all those chats is so it's almost like you're in a room together, right?
It's the energy. And I would also add to that, like, know your audience, right? If you know everybody knows everybody, sure, you could have something with their kids online. So I'd say intentional content, just opening up a Zoom session and, you know, throwing everybody in there. Have fun, go chat. It again doesn't add too much to your event. You're better off starting your event, right?
Exactly.
This brings me to finish your thought.
No, just there's, you know, you can do shows. I've seen comedians. I've seen, you know, magic shows. I mean, just know your audience. Like you said, know what the theme is. Does it tie in? Are you just adding, you know, to it? You don't have to add. Less is more, especially virtual and online. People just don't have the time. So think about it carefully before you actually do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
my phone's
great. But thank you so much, Franco. This was amazing. It's so good to have you here. We're going to put up a quick slide just with his information. Feel free to reach out. He always loves, you know, consulting, helping you out, answer any questions, anything at all. He's very, very helpful. So please reach out to him. And again, we're Pavey. Oh, look at that.
I love you, Nidhi. Thank you for all that you've done in 2 years. You've been a great platform, a great partner, and I got hearts for you because we've really raised a lot of money, and we did it together as a team.
We did. No, it's great to be a part of this team. Thank you so much. Oh, one last thing. So we are going to continue with our regular demo. We host these demos twice a week. It's a live demo with an auctioneer. We have a mini gala. So all of you get to experience exactly what your donors would and just see what's possible and decide what would be great for your event. So we do have Apta who's pasted a link over there. Feel free to join us. We'll be starting in a minute or so. But thank you so much, Franco, and hopefully I'll see all of you at the demo. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bye-bye. See you.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.